Feedback. Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you.
Feedback.
And take us along with you. Happy Monday, everybody. Today is Memorial Day. And celebration actually is May 30th. My name is Theo Broughton, co-founder of Hood Research, and my co-host.
Thabiti, and we welcome you to the program.
Yes. You know, we always say it's either feast or famine. Today is feast. And Thabiti, you wanted to share some history about Memorial Day, and then we'll get started.
Okay, many of you are celebrating Memorial Day, and it has actually two origins, but the first one was Memorial Day was started by former enslaved people on May 1st, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina, to honor 257 dead Union soldiers who had been buried in a mass grave in a Confederate prison camp. They dug up the bodies, the enslaved dug up the bodies and worked for 2 weeks to give them a proper burial as gratitude for fighting for their freedom. They then held a parade of 10,000 people led by 2,800 black children where they sang and celebrated the first Memorial Day. So know your history. May 1st, 1865, enslaved Africans in Charleston, South Carolina had the original Memorial Day.
Wow. That was some good information to have. We have guests with us this morning, Deborah Turner, and we want to thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, who is Deborah Turner?
I'm an event coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I do fundraisers for different organizations, but my background is in the health field. I'm occupational therapy assistant. I've done that for over 20-some years. I was a member of the Detroit Lions Club. We did a lot of fundraisers for that. I also have my own nonprofit, which is called Lotus House Cafe, and I work with the blind and visually impaired to help empower, inspire, encourage, and educate the blind and visually impaired, and to provide inclusion for that community, because a lot of times that community is pushed to the side, and I just want us to have a more normalized life. I am visually impaired. I lost my sight at the age of 15 due to medical malpractice, but I went on to accomplish a lot of things, and some people that lose their sight, they just lose hope. And that's one of the reasons why I created my nonprofit, to help give people hope that have disabilities, and to let them know that it's not the end.
Right.
You know, it's the beginning. It's a new chapter in your life. You know, you just have to adapt, make changes, adjustments, and deal with, you know, a lot of things are going to happen to us in this lifetime. And it's how we respond to it. It's how we respond to it. Because I lost a child. My son was killed at the age of 18. I had to move forward. I had to keep going because I had 2 more children that I had to take care of. Right. So I just try to teach people how to, you know, keep going. You do need to take care of yourself. You do need to heal, you know, your wounds, and you know, just move forward. So that's one of the reasons why I created my nonprofit. But I'm helping. We're doing a celebration of fathers on June 17th. The nonprofit is called Victory in the Family Ministries. It's at 8850 Woodward, St. Matthew's Church. And her name is Deborah Lee. Her name is Deborah also.
Oh,
but her name's Deborah Lee, and she helps the community, low-income people. She helps seniors. She helps babies, moms. She helps people that need assistance with unemployment. She has a program where she helps you with tax assistance. So I'm helping her to raise funds because it's a good it's a good service that she provides for the community, and it's of no cost. So I spoke with her. I said, would you like me to help you do a fundraiser? She said, yes. So we're doing it for Father's Day. We're going to have a dinner. It's going to be a comedy show. We're going to have 2 comedians there, Josiah Jones, he's a headliner, and Heather Kiles. They're pretty good. They're clean comics, because it is at a church. Yeah, they're clean. We're not going to hear, So it's going to be a good experience. We're going to have a dinner. We're going to have speakers. We will have some entertainment for the men, because it's for the men.
Right.
Because you know what men say. They say, we have Mother's Day. Y'all don't do anything for us on Father's Day.
Yes.
So we said, let's do something for the fathers. Because there are good fathers out there.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't have any good role models for fathers in my life, but there are some good fathers out there.
Absolutely.
So we said we would do this for the fathers. We're going to have some nice treats for them. And we're going to have a performer, Kalik. He does a lot of gospel rap. He's going to be rapping. Mr. Richard Clay, he's going to be one of our speakers. And we'll have several other people from the community that are going to be speaking. And they're going to have a nice dinner and the comedy show. So, yeah.
Well, that sounds good.
Now, how do people get in touch with you, find out about it? I know you said it was Victory and Family Ministries. Where is that located?
Yes, it's 8850 Woodward, and you can pick up the tickets there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 11 to 3 p.m.
So the event is going to be at that church.
It's going to be at the church,
Okay.
June 17th, from 2 to 5 p.m.
Okay. All right.
And
Now-
the tickets are $50,
Okay.
but it's well worth it. It's well worth it. It's going to be a really nice event.
Now, is there a telephone number that people can also use to?
I'll give my phone number, 586 563 3398.
3398. Okay.
And that's Deborah Turner. They can contact me if they need any other information on where to get tickets and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tell us about your career that you say you've been in practice
My career.
for 20 years.
Yeah,
or so.
I got my associate degree in occupational therapy, and I worked with I did rehabilitation, people with disorders, heart attacks, stroke, orthopedic injuries, just malaise. That means if they're fatigued, if they're over fatigued, whatever issues, whatever disorders or diseases that I came in contact with. And I did that for over 20 some years. I worked in different places, West Bloomfield, I worked Detroit, Hamtramck. I worked all over the city. And I enjoyed it because I was helping people to become as independent as they possibly could dealing with their injuries. And that was one of the things that inspired me about it, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to be independent. When I first lost my sight, I didn't know what I could do. I was 15. I was very active. Me and my sisters, we were always doing some gymnastics. We danced. We did. My mother had us in everything, and we were very active. So when I lost my sight, I thought, my life is over. What can I do now? But I had to figure it out. It took me some time, but I figured it out. I went to a lot of different colleges, not colleges, but you know how they have the programs, the BSB, which used to be called the Michigan Commission for the Blind. I went through them, different programs, and none of them seemed to fit until I did occupational therapy, and I was able to work with people and help encourage them to be as independent as they possibly could. And so I did that. I also was a CPR instructor. I did. I worked at daycares. I did whatever I could do, to help to help, get my resume and just because, and one of the things is I like to help people. I like to help people, and that was one of the reasons why I think I did occupational therapy. I worked in the daycares. I volunteered at different places. So, that's a big part of, who I am. I'm also a mother. I was married for 20-some years as well. I had 3 children. My oldest, I told you, he passed away at the age of 18. He was at college, very bad accident. And I have a 31-year-old son, and I have a 32-year-old daughter who's she's in California. She's a fashion designer, and she was actually did a show here years ago that talking about what she does. But yeah, I just try to encourage people and inspire whenever I can, because we need it, especially today with the environment, with what's going on in the environment today. We need to be encouraged and encourage other people as well.
Absolutely.
On your bad days, on your good days, if you encourage somebody and you feeling bad, that's going to make you feel better. So, yeah.
I consider you a perfect role model, and you have a wide range of experiences. And I say role model in the sense that, as you say, and I can understand too, some people can become depressed and detach themselves from life. And just a side note, my sister, I guess this would be, she's been in, let's say, occupational therapy for over 30 years. But the thing about it is that I happened to visit her at one of her facilities, and it was just a very interesting experience, like you say, how you help patients, because they had little things like ramps and stairs where people could learn how to do that. And she showed me how, it took me around a little kitchen area where they were training people to become reacquainted with how they would function in a household, everything. I was really amazed with it, because many people from the outside, obviously in any field, don't know what's going on within that field. So when she took me through that was something that always stuck with me. So I applaud you for that as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, share with us again the information about the Father's Day event. We don't want that to slip.
Okay. The Father's Day is called a celebration of fathers. It's going Victory in the Family Ministries. It will be at 8850 Woodward, St. Matthew's and St. Joseph's Church, June 17th from 2 to 5. And you can get tickets there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays from 11 to 3. The tickets are $50, and my phone number is 586-563-3398. It's going to be a great time.
Right.
It's going to be a great time, and we have a nice menu. We're still working out the menu. And yeah, we're still working on the menu, but it's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Oh, that sounds great. There was something else I wanted to ask. Well, one, give the number again if somebody wants to contact you a little slow.
586-563-3398.
Okay.
And that's Deborah Turner.
And for those who are tuned in and are thinking about who they want to bring with them, what else is including in the day's activities?
Well, we're gonna have a belly dancer for the men. It's a treat for the men, because it's all about the men that day.
Yes, right.
It's really all about the men. We're gonna have swag bags for them to go home with. We did have a lot of other things set up, but some of it just didn't come to pass. But next year we're gonna have more like a pamper day for the men, because a lot of men don't get that.
Yes.
Some men do go and get massages, but not a lot of them. A lot of them don't do stuff like that to take care of themselves, which they should. They should. They should. So.
Oh, now they have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, they have a lot to look forward to.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Yes.
Get spoiled.
Yeah.
But that's good. Because I just remember hearing, You always want to do everything for
For
the
women,
mothers,
yes.
and we don't get any attention. And oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be a wonderful afternoon from
Yeah,
2 until
it
5,
is. It is, definitely.
right there on Movement Avenue.
Now, I'm wondering, and maybe this is tied in, what is the Lotus House Cafe?
The Lotus House Cafe, well, I love coffee. So I'm going to sell coffee, and part of the proceeds will go towards the blind and visually impaired community for whatever their needs may be. So I am looking forward to, I have a nonprofit and a for-profit. The for-profit is going to be a location. It's going to be a brick and mortar location. But the nonprofit is just going to be a part of that, and the proceeds will go towards that community. And it's going to be coffee. I'm going to have different types of coffees. I'm in contact with different manufacturers for some specialty coffees and stuff like that. So it will be a brick and mortar soon. I am working with, I'm looking for funding right now. And I have gotten contacts from different funding places in the city. So I am looking forward to that.
Stay tuned, right?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I do have Instagram, which is Lotus_House_Cafe. So I just started it. So if anybody want to leave me messages there, they can leave me messages. And if they want any more information about it.
Right, right. Oh, wow. That's, I just thinking about that day. That's going to really be a treat to remember.
Yes.
And forevermore, they will not be able to say that the fathers weren't taken care of.
You're right.
Belly dancer in the church.
Yes, in the church. Yeah. Well, wait, look. Abraham. Back in the day, they used to belly dance. They used to dance to the Lord. They used to shake it. That's where it came
So
from.
they would shake it up.
Yeah, they used to shake it up a little bit.
Do you have all of the speakers lined up?
We have most of the speakers lined up. I had one of the police commissioners, but he had to cancel. He said he's going out of town. So we're just looking for one more speaker to come in. But yeah. Yeah, I'm in contact with a couple of people right now. If anybody wants to, they can give me a call, let me know if they want to speak. But yeah, that was one of the speakers that couldn't make it.
Okay.
Mr. Ricardo Moore, he's on the board of commissioners for the police department.
Yes. So you have Richard Clay who's speaking though, right?
Yeah, he's an excellent speaker. Richard
Yes,
Clay,
he is.
he works with the youth. He works a lot with the youth of the city. He has a master's degree in education. He's written several books. He's a health coach. He's a life coach. He coaches and counsels the youth, and he's very good at it. I've seen him in action. He talks to my son sometimes. So he's an excellent speaker. And,
I agree.
Yeah,
he really is.
yeah.
And like yourself, another role model as well. Because,
Yes, he is.
And actually, Theo knows this, that I actually worked with his father for many years.
Okay.
And so I knew his father before I knew him, but we were just casual acquaintances because we were in a large building, so there were a lot of us there. But I would see the brother, and we speak and acknowledge each other. So when when I found out that Richard was his son, that just kind of made everything come full circle.
Yeah.
And again, he's an excellent role model because there is no obstacle or barrier that he's allowed to direct his life. He decided, as you did, and that's why I'm proud of you as well, decided that I'm going to direct my life, and this condition or whatever I have to deal with is only a challenge for me to overcome. Because I know too many healthy people who, I don't know, maybe it's because they healthy or whatever, they just don't do nothing. They got nothing on their resume except that they living and breathing. And that's sad, but that's reality as well.
right.
Yeah, you really shouldn't take things for granted. I think a lot of people take things for granted, and that's one of the things that I can't do. I can't take things for granted because, when my son passed away, I said to myself, what am I going to do? How do I handle this? And I said, I have to handle it. I'm here. I'm still alive. This was dealt to me, and I have to do what I need to do. I still have 2 more children that I have to take care of. I have to be there for them. 'Cause you can't just let yourself go. You
Right.
just can't do it. Like a lot of people, they just let themselves go, and they're on this medication and that medication, and you just can't do it. And I pray a lot. So God helped me through it. It wasn't just me. God helped me through it. My church helped me through it. They for 2 weeks they fixed my kids. My kids were in private school, and I used to have to fix their lunches. And for 2 weeks, the school actually fixed the kids' lunches, and they gave me kind of like a little break. And every little thing helped. And I always tell people, when you're dealing with that, you have to take it at your own pace, but at least take it 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time. Because if you people would ask me, what happened to your son? If I was able to talk about it at that moment, I would. If I was not, I say I can't talk about it right now. Come back to me later, and I'll discuss it later. Because you have to gauge yourself. You can't go by what other people are feeling or what they might want. You have to gauge yourself, because you have to live with yourself 24/7. I don't have to be with anybody else but me and Jesus. I have to be with my husband. I'm divorced, but I didn't have to be with him or anybody else. When that happened, I had to live with myself, and I had to know that I was doing right by my kids and my own health, my own mental and emotional health. And a lot of people don't think about that, and they just take life for granted, and you really shouldn't,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's extremely important because stress gets in there, and it makes things even worse.
It does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another beautiful thing about it was that you had support around you,
I
which
did.
a lot of people, some of them will shun support because they rather wallow in their misery
Mm-hmm.
and pity, and actually solicit that type of emotion,
Yeah.
wanting somebody else to feel sorry. But I was telling Theo on the way that there's people that I deal with that when they bring negativity, I can't allow that negativity just to linger. So I have to bring positivity
Yes.
back.
Yes.
And one of the things that I did when a neighbor was saying something, I say, well, look, brother, we could be in a wheelchair, we could be in Providence Hospital, or we could be at Forest Lawn. So when he looked at it from that perspective, he had to change his tune a little bit, because I wasn't going to let him have negativity and let it rule. And I always kid with people, but it's true that when I would donate blood, because I worked for a federal agency, and they would have the blood drives, I donate. But like they said, most people know what their astrological sign is, but they know what their blood type was. So I asked about mine. It was B positive. So I said, I can't help but be positive. It's in my
Amen.
blood. So it works out well for me. And I have to make sure that I impart that, because I have a spiritual, philosophical, and religious view of life. And those are the things, like with what you're saying, they give you that foundation.
That's right.
So no matter what you're dealing with, you can always build from that foundation.
Yes.
Again, I know people who don't want that foundation. They'll bring a sledgehammer, whatever you tell them, they'll try to bust
like
about
it,
it.
yes.
No, you
Yes.
just don't understand. Well, maybe I don't, but you don't understand either, or you wouldn't stay in that position. And I always try to use, and you'll be another role model that I'll use is somebody who says, okay, I was running this lap in the Olympics, but I couldn't get over the hurdle. Well, if you keep practicing, you'll get over the hurdle. But if you don't, you just stand there and watch it, and it'll block you. So,
Yeah.
again, I applaud you for that. And like I
Thank
say,
you.
you got a very well-rounded resume.
Thank
and I
you.
know this is just the beginning for you.
Yeah,
You know,
thank
you
you.
got a lot on your record.
I do. God has a lot in store for me, and you just got to be willing and able, to do what it is He wants you to do. We don't. It's not in us. It's in Him.
Okay.
It's in His strength.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, we are just about to go to our break. And I want to thank you so much for being with us this morning
You're
and
welcome.
to share the information.
Thank
and I
you.
know you have excited people about coming on the 17th of
Amen.
June
Thank you.
at 2 o'clock.
Thank you for inviting me.
So one last time as a wrap-up, just give them your phone number, the day, and time of the event.
Okay.
And let them know how they can get tickets. Go ahead.
Okay. My phone number is 586-563-3398. Let me say that again. I went fast. 586-563-3398. The date is June 17th, celebrating fathers. Tickets Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 3 p.m. You can get them at 8850 Woodward, St. Matthew's and St. Joseph's Church. It'll be June 17th.
Okay. And they can pick up tickets prior to.
You can pick up tickets prior to the date, but you can also get tickets on the date as well.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At the church.
At the
same
church,
location.
yes, the same location.
Okay.
Yes.
Between. What?
The time is between 11 and 3.
Okay.
But the event is from 2 to 5. I know I said a lot of times, but June 17th from 2 to 5 at St. Matthew's Church is the Celebrating Father's Day.
And let me remind everybody, the address is 8850 Woodward Avenue. Again, that's 8850 Woodward.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
So we want to ask everyone to stay tuned, but you go ahead and tell them about that coffee, Theo.
Hey, that sounds good. Anyway, while you step out and get your orange juice, your coffee, your milk, call someone and tell them to tune in as well, and we will be back momentarily.
It's time to do something more. Join the Detroit Police Department, either straight out of high school or make a bold career change. Officers start at $40,000, plus health insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, and more. Apply online at joindetroitblue.org.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle, Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, you gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime! It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome our first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wally Woodward here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germ. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman.
Feedback. Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And Take Us Along with You.
Feedback. Feedback. Feedback.
And Take Us Along with You. My favorite intro. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. And our guest who is with us now is Stephen Hayes. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And tell us, who is Stephen Hayes?
Stephen Hayes is merely just a man, just starting something that I wanted to help with the youth. We have a sports media program called Tunnel Vision Sports.
Television Sports.
Tunnel Vision Sports.
Tunnel.
Yes, ma'am.
Tunnel Vision.
Tunnel Vision Sports,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And we started it as it's now our showcase because we have our nonprofit organization, Tunnel Vision Academy. And that is the setup for our showcase now, Tunnel Vision Sports. And we help students break into the sports media industry.
Oh.
And our guidelines help you get involved with journalism, audio engineering, sports editing, public relations, social media management, and we set you up to get into the sports media industry.
Wow. Well, at what age do you start the young people?
Originally, we were starting in college, but now we start from the 8th grade. So from 8th grade up, and you don't have to be a college student. You don't have to, it's not an age limit. There's no cap
to
on that.
participate, you mean?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, as far as when you're older, I mean, like you don't have to have a degree for it. Like if you wanted to learn it, but you never knew how to get into it, then, we possibly can help you.
Oh, wow. And that sounds like 8th grade.
Yeah, and one of the things I was just going to say right off the bat, I'm glad because I listen to a lot of talk shows. We do a talk show, so I like to listen to other hosts, and they've had various guests. And I know a lady called in on one show, and what she was asking was, if a person can't get into sports, let's say, for instance, you wanted to be a jock, but you hurt your leg or something like that, so trying to be a part of that sport was no longer an option, but there were so many various other aspects that you could come into it. So when you mentioned sports media, you ran the list down so fast, brother.
I apologize.
No, that's okay because it's going to be a lengthy conversation. But you had said so many other different things that people can get into that's involved in sports that they just couldn't be athlete themselves.
Right.
So I just want to say I applaud you for that because number one, you started in the 8th grade, so that's when they were like around 14 years old or so, something in there, and then. Again, if they're not able to actually pursue baseball, whatever it may be, basketball, they can still be around an environment that they love passionately, but they're just taking on a different title or role in that. So I'm going to allow you to elaborate on it, brother, but I just had to get out real quick with that.
No, thank you. Thank you. And you hit the nail on the head, actually, because that's what it's for. Anybody who has a passion in sports, but everybody can't be the next LeBron James, the next Steph Curry, whatever the case may be. But we wanted to set something up so you understand you can still have an impact in sports. And the reason we started this program, I'm a big sports fan, very big sports fan, but the reason we started the program was because everything that we do is based off of what we've seen. Everything that we consume is based off of what we've seen in the media. Our program takes a different approach. We're all about positivity. We do not talk about athletes in a negative light. We don't touch their personal lives. We only touch on what they do, for their career choice. And everything that we do now is set up to guide you, help you, teach you the integrity factor of media. And that's why when we started our nonprofit program organization, which started a few months ago, that was because, just sitting back with my team, and I was like, you know what, we need to we had so many people flow in, like pour into what we wanted to do, but we wanted to help at an earlier age. And we picked 8th grade because that's normally the age where you start to say, oh, I want to do this for my career. I want to do that. And everything that we've done, to just help students and help guide them and we've had over 130 interns since we started the program in 2020 for the tunnel vision sports side of it. And
how many?
130.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
That's nice.
Thank you. And we've been able to help them get jobs in the NFL, the NBA, MLB, WNBA.
What is the MLB?
Major League Baseball.
Oh, okay.
Major League Baseball.
Okay.
It's just shorter to say.
Oh, all right.
I apologize.
Oh, okay.
And then some of our interns have gone on to, get local jobs at their local news stations, wherever they're from, because we're based out of Detroit, Michigan, but our whole organization is, all across.
The 130, that was a number,
yes,
right?
130.
What is the age, for the 130?
That we've had so far? They range between, I would say, 18 to 25.
Oh, okay.
They range between 18 to 25, but that's why we started the nonprofit side of it, Tunnel Vision Academy. Tunnel Vision Academy is our nonprofit organization, and that's where you'll learn from 8th grade. We'll guide you, and then once you are ready to take the next steps, out of high school, you can come to our showcase, which is Tunnel Vision Sports, where you'll get your work published and get all your media credentials and everything that you need.
Okay, so Tunnel Vision Sports is what helps them get the setup for their career.
Yes, Tunnel Vision Sports is the showcase, so you can be seen. Yes,
and you actually help them get employed. Apparently, 130. Phew.
Yes, out of the 130 interns that we've had, we've helped 53.4% with job placement.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now let's back up to the
absolutely
beginning. 8th grade. Is this for males only?
No. It's for male and female.
Okay.
Male and female.
So, 8th grade student would learn about the program, and what would they do?
They would literally just get a guideline of it. We'll teach them how to write articles. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just. Find you. That's what we want them to do. We're showcasing you today.
Ma'am. Yes.
But anyway, if an 8th grader is listening to this and say, "Well, I want them to help me,"
oh, absolutely.
What do they do?
They can go on our website.
Okay.
That's tvsportsmag.com. Mag short for magazine. Again, that's tvsportsmag.com.
Okay.
And
good.
we have a careers tab. And you can click on the careers tab at the upper right-hand corner. And then we have all our listings. And then once you apply, it's a guideline of who you are, where you're coming from. It's a self-explanatory fill-out.
Okay, now when you say listing, what is the listing?
As far as, name, age, things of that nature.
Person.
Yes, for the person. For the
okay.
person.
Okay,
and we have 5 jobs on there that you can select from of what you want to choose.
That's what I'm sure. Okay.
It's journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcast journalism,
Mm-hmm.
social media management,
Mm-hmm.
public relations,
Mm-hmm.
and audio engineering.
Wow. Okay. Now, the audio engineering is that working radio and TV?
Right now, it's more just radio, podcasting style.
Oh, okay.
So podcasting.
That'd be nice.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, actually, when I looked at this, because I was trying to take notes, brother, I wish I knew shorthand. This would be such a beautiful thing. Maybe that's something I should look into. One of the things I was going to say right off the bat, I like the fact that that's 130 people, youth, who could be doing so many other things, negative and positive, that we know we're taking out of the field of I guess how would I put this? The influence of the street. That's
Right,
the best way to put
right.
it. And then it's something that young men and young women gravitate towards as well. So I was glad when you said the WNBA, because with Brittany Griner, she's become like the poster child for the WNBA. Although there's so many other, I look at them in a random sense. What I mean is I'm not committed to it
Right.
as a sports fan,
Right.
but I do. If it's on, I'm like, okay, let me see what these girls they hooping, whatever.
Right,
Let me
absolutely.
check them out. So for the 130 that are involved in something that's positive. Now I wanted to ask you, okay, now how do you approach? Okay, like you said, from 8th grade on up. Okay, but you originally started with collegiate.
Yeah, we originally started with collegiate.
Okay, so now how did you approach them? Like, they were already, let's say, a lot of times when you're in college. Not a lot of times, but sometimes when you're in college, you sometimes have in your mind what career field you want to go into.
Right.
So how did you approach, or how did your organization approach them and say, okay, like, were they already in journalism, or were they doing something? How did you approach them to get them involved?
That's actually a great question. The majority of them were teetering between what they wanted to do.
Okay.
So for us, we stumbled across a website called Handshake. And the website allows you to post whatever you have job-wise to offer to their students. So it's a website called Handshake, and all the universities across the world are on it. So when I signed up for it, you were supposed to select, I think, the top 15 that you wanted to see your jobs. And then they tell you whether or not they'll approve you.
You picked top 15 what?
Universities.
Oh,
the top
okay.
15
Thank you.
universities.
Okay.
But I accidentally select all. And I thought that I was selecting all 15 universities, but it was actually 800 universities.
Oh.
So what happened was I kept getting these emails saying this university approved you, this university approved you.
Oh, no.
So we were able to be accepted to over 800 universities.
Oh.
And then we started getting people to apply, because you can apply directly through that site. And we started getting people to apply, and people started to change. We literally saw people shifting their majors to say, hey, I wanted to do journalism, but I didn't know where to start. And that's how we were able to help people guide. And that's where that 130 number came from.
They were inundated with emails.
A blessing in disguise.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah, wow.
It was.
Oh, man. Now, the next question I have has to do with social media. Broadcast journalism. There was a group of chess players, all African American, okay, from the city of Detroit. They won the championship in the United States of America. The United States of America Chess Championship. Did you hear about it?
I did.
Okay. Now, when you have the young students that come, I heard you say you only want to talk about the positive. Do you show them how to post information like that 99% of people probably never heard about?
Yes, we do. And one of the things this fall, actually, we'll be doing is we'll be covering chess, and we'll be covering robotics.
Oh,
And
yes.
these are things that we're going to showcase and help people understand this is a sport. And chess is very competitive, and picking up swimming is another thing that we're going to touch on as far as for the youth, high schools and things of that nature.
Right. They did well. I was trying to remember the robotics outcome because they did well in that. And then there was the chess, which I was excited about because I play chess. But anyway, the other area was football. King High School won the state championship.
Yes.
Go Crusaders.
Yeah. Oh, that is right.
Yeah.
I mean, did they report on that?
We covered that.
Those are the kind of things that just,
And
that's really annoying.
For us, one of the main things I think students, because when you become a part of Tunnel Vision, you're an actual media member. And oftentimes we've been hearing the same thing. we would like to help you, but you don't have enough experience.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the things a lot of the students came to me with.
Mhm.
Well, I applied for this place, but they said I didn't have enough experience.
Mhm.
And while we can't take on everyone, our
Mhm.
company is designed to take on people who don't have enough experience.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you can get the experience that you
Mhm.
need to move forward.
Mhm.
And one of the things when we bring in students that I always talk to them about and encourage them, report on your high school. You have access to that. That's whether you graduated 2 or 3 years ago or you just graduated, you're a freshman in college, report on your high school.
Mhm.
Now that we're going to be taking on 8th graders and up, that's one of the things we're going to instill in them. Take advantage of what's in front of you.
Mhm.
High school sports, a lot of times, some of those athletes won't make it past that.
Right.
And we want to be able to provide a platform for most of them that they can look back and say, hey, I was covered in high school.
Oh,
And then that builds you up, and that
Yeah.
helps you at a younger age to get
Mm.
noticed and to get understanding. So by the time it's embedded in you, by the time you're about to graduate high school, you've had it. You got everything that you wanted, and then you can decide. We'll allow them to make that decision if they want to continue it, but we at least want to provide them that information from 8th grade on to be able to have that option.
There was he just recently retired from WXYZ, Dave Llewellyn, but he was speaking about his career. He actually started, as you said, he was in high school doing reporting, which, led to his career eventually. And he did the same thing in college, but it eventually led to him being a anchor, I guess, one of the major anchors. But as you say, if they're starting at that point to build it up, because they already know that their interest is there.
Right.
So the thing is that, and to have, because I work with guys, I just recall from high school, there were brothers who were in audio visual. They, this is old school, okay, but anyway, they would roll the projector in the room. They had that little screen that came down like a little blind or something, the shade that you have over your window. They set that thing up and they hook up all the connections and everything. So they were starting their whole audio visual career right there in high school. And then, as you said, and I agree, the transition from one to another was a smooth transition because it wasn't a spur of the moment kind of decision. This is what we want to do. So, again, I applaud you on that because, at that age, and even before that, but I'm just going to say in 8th grade, the youth are, like you say, seeking what do they want to do with themselves, but they're very impressionable as well.
Right.
And they have all these influences out there. I want to be a rapper, blah, blah, blah. But all these external influences are on them, and they have to, and without some sort of someone to guide them, give them direction or something. And I can't say that there's not too many young men and young women who don't have some involvement in sports, whether they liked Serena Williams or Tiger, and then as you said, we moved to Steph, Brittany Griner, LeBron, and all that. Whether we like it or not, that's a very strong industry, and extremely strong. So let me ask you this question as the thought comes to me: what are the potentials for and the openings for people who are involved in this type of thing, as a future career?
Well, actually, we have a gentleman who was with us for 2 years. He interned with us for 2 years, and now I'll take it back. When we interviewed him, his professor told him, and it wasn't directed to him negatively, but it's just the way the industry goes. His professor told him it would take him 8 years to break into the sports media industry.
What?
He said because that's how long it takes to get your foot in the door. So we took a chance on him. We brought him in, and he interned with us for 2 years. He is currently the high school editor for USA Today.
Wow.
We have another gentleman who started off as an intern for us as a social media manager, and he wanted to learn journalism. We taught him the way of journalism, AP style writing, the way to write an article, and he interned with us for 1.5 years. He now works for the NFL. And those type of opportunities that we provide to you is to set you up. So now when you go back to these companies that you wanted to apply for, they take away that reason that they can't hire you. You don't have enough experience. I remember sitting in my living room last year eating dinner, and I got a phone call. I didn't know the number. It was from Pasadena, California. and I let it go to voicemail, and I immediately listened to the voicemail, and it was the NFL.
Wow.
And the NFL wanted to hire one of our interns. So we talked for about 30 minutes. And she said, Stephen, I've never, she said she's been working with the NFL for 25 years. And she said in all her time with the NFL, she said she's never seen anybody had so much experience in such little time. Now, this gentleman he covered 2 WNBA finals. He covered a Super Bowl with us. He covered a few high school championships, and then just various things, throughout his tenure. And she was just very impressed, and that's when we knew, everything was set up for you to become successful. So whether you want to be an anchor or like on the audio side, on the behind-the-scenes side, these are things that we can help you with.
And, I like that whole idea of behind the scenes. I know Shonda Rhimes, Tyler Perry, and a number of other people, they say, okay, because we're so familiar with whoever's in front of the camera.
Right.
And what they said that nobody realizes and I'm a retired electrician, but a lot of people wouldn't know that they work. Matter of fact, they were part of our union, as a matter of fact, but because some worked at WXYZ, we incorporated them into our IBEW local. But a lot of people don't know that you have all the support staff, support employees behind there who are doing things that you never see visually. So when Chandra, Ava DuVernay, Tyler Perry, et cetera, say, look, we're going to get some people that look like us, who have the skills. Now, one of the things I like also is now I just remember, now the newspapers are things of the past, relatively speaking, but I remember I would look in the classified ads for jobs, all kind of job listing, because I've always just been an aggressive, ambitious kind of person. But one of the things I noticed is that they would say, experience required. Some would say no experience necessary. But like what you're saying with what you're dealing with, no experience, then we can't let you in the door. But so what I like about it is that I remember somebody having a statement where they said something relatively like, well, how am I going to get experience if you don't let me in, to get it? It's not like, where I came from, there was just an opportunity for me to develop this skill set or something like that. So what I like about TVS is that you guys give them, like you say, you start them off, write about your high school, this, that, or the other, and then, you got a resume, a track record, if you will, that says, okay, I've been involved in this, I'm passionate about this, because we never hear or experience the behind-the-scenes persons. And for what you're saying, journalism, broadcast journalism, audio engineer, and that, who would have known? Like Theo and I, we've had people on who were involved with the Tuskegee Airmen and Benjamin Davis Aerospace. So most are thinking pilots. But then we've had those people have the same discussion, say you don't realize how many other people who are involved in the airline industry who don't fly the planes, but if it's not for them, the planes aren't going anywhere.
Absolutely.
So I like what you're doing, because it says, okay, yeah, we're going to start you out on the ground. We're going to start from the ground level up and build you up. And then they'll know also whether that's something they want to get involved with. Now, we're going to have a lengthier conversation, but what kind of information can you give, contact information for people who want to become involved?
You can call our number, 734-743-2893. Again, that's 734-743-2893. And you can call, you can leave a voicemail. We always get back with everyone. And that's an easier way to contact. Or you can send us an email at hr@tvsportsstaff.com. Again, hr@tvsportsstaff.com.
Okay, Okay, and Tunnel Vision Sports, correct?
Tunnel Vision Sports is the showcase name.
Okay.
And the website again is tvsportsmag.com.
Okay. Just want to make sure I have this. I'm going to put this on Facebook as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
tvsportsmag.com.
Yes, tvsportsmag.com.
Oh, okay. I've got TV Sports Staff, but
Staff is the email.
Okay. Okay. Let me just make sure I got
And
that
others
right.
the website.
Yes, the other is the website.
cdsportsmag.com.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have a number.
Yes, area code 734. This is for those listeners. And I didn't say at the beginning of the show, as I usually do, have your pen and paper handy because I know you want to write something down and you don't want to just trust your memory. So the phone number, and then we'll repeat it again during the show, is 734-743-2893. This is Tunnel Vision Sports, and this is to allow you to have your youth, 8th grade on up, get involved. Now, brother, I wanted to ask you another question. So since you're dealing with 8th grade, are you working with like DPS, CD? I hate saying the CD part because it's just Detroit Public Schools, all that other stuff.
Right.
But how are you involved with the school system since you started with 8th graders?
So this fall we'll be involved with the school system. That's what we're actually setting up now.
Okay.
But we'll do it more as an after-school program.
Okay.
That we'll be able to help students with. That way to provide them something to do after school.
Right.
To be able to keep them out of trouble and anything that they, may be interested in. But it's also a way for them to understand what they don't have in schools right now. And that's what we are striving to make sure that we can put this program in the schools. But for now, we'll take it however we can, which will be an after-school program. And that's how we're going to start it. So from 8th grade up, again, they'll be able to come, set up everything, and then we're having the locations actually work. The buildings that we're going to be operating out of, they're being constructed now to be set up. So everything will be well and off to the races.
I like that too. Number one, like you said, after school thing, this gives them something to do. And I have to say this is just my own personal thought. I like the idea that when you're involved in something, it gives you a sense of pride. It gives you a sense of self because a lot of times, let's just say they're grappling with moving into adulthood.
Right.
But, and that's not an easy thing to navigate for anybody. I had trouble with it because I didn't have anybody to like mentor or guide me. And if I didn't have King Crusaders again, if I had, if I hadn't had teachers and my counselor guide me, because when I was at another school, which I won't mention, they weren't giving me any direction. They were letting me do whatever I wanted. It was just sort of like a processing center. We're going to get you in high school. We're going to get you out. Whatever you do with your life don't matter. So when I sent my transcripts to had them transferred to King, and they said, oh, no, this ain't going to work. So they put me in a college prep program, which ended up leading me to UAD and a lot of other things. But had I stayed at the school I was at, there was no, I didn't have a future because I didn't see one.
Right.
I didn't, my father had left, so more or less he wasn't guiding me and say, well, son, when you grow up, I want, here's something you might want to do. So I was just kind of like a lot of youth now. You just kind of lost at sea. Now we're at the top of the hour, and I'm running my mouth, so let me shut up for a minute.
Well, those of you who are enjoying this conversation and learning about something that is extremely productive and beneficial for our young people, call someone and tell them to tune in and hear the information as well. And note this, we'll be back momentarily.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
All right, everybody settle. Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, you gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome our first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Our Woody Woodland here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit, HD2.
Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Feedback.
And take us along with you. I hope that you have enjoyed us taking you along with us with all of this positive information that we've been sharing. And belly dancer and all. This is, it is, I don't know, it just, what's a good word? Inspiring.
Thank you.
Just to know that you are now working with the students from 8th grade on up. Now, we at Hood Research have adopted a school, and we have been encouraging people to tutor the children in their reading. You know, during the pandemic, we had some setbacks all over the country because of that. So this was one area where we thought we could help. Now, with the students that you take on, do you test them at all, or do you just accept them in? And
we don't accept. It's not just an acceptance, but there's not a test. We just kind of help you. I guess you could say it's more of a test because we want to know where your understanding process is. So if you have a passion for something in sports, but you don't really know where you want to land, we do provide you with video footage to look over things that we've done in the past for you to understand where we are. But a lot of times people tend to say, okay, well, I thought it was journalism, but maybe I want to switch to social media. Or, you know, that's how we able to gauge where we are and where we can help you. Because a lot of people think you see the person on TV and that's what you want to do.
Right.
But they don't realize how hard that job really is.
Yeah.
To be able to be on TV, and a lot of people, which is not an issue, like to fade to the background. And then that's how we kind of gauge you. So with us starting this program, this nonprofit Tunnel Vision Academy, from the 8th grade on, we'll be able to just basically sit down and have a conversation with them. Because before we can teach you anything, we want to learn from you. We want to know what's your interest. We want to know, what got you into why you wanted to be in this program, and then where do you see it going? Like you said earlier, some of them might be able to transition smoothly, and some of them just might want the knowledge just to go through high school just to have. But we want to be able to know that, and that's how they help us. We learn from them, have an open conversation, and then we make our decision from there.
Just to have the knowledge. It just seems that if they would take the time, what is the length of time with the internship and all that you are?
It's a 3-month minimum requirement, and then you have the option as the intern to extend if you're in college per your university, if they allow you to. Because some just take it for academic credit, and then, that goes on to help them graduate. But that's why we were able to get that 130 number, is because after those 3 months, almost 90% of those students hit us and said, hey, can we extend this? That's why we were able to have year-long interns and things of that nature. And while we were setting the course to say, okay, I know at one time we had 30 journalists on hand.
Wow.
And while we were sitting there, I kind of took a step back. I said, that's a little too many to manage at one time. So we kind of scaled that back, and that's why we started the process to say, okay, this is where you can go. This is how we can help. And then we differentiate, like if you want to do it for academic credit, we know where we're going to place you. Right. If you want to do it for learning, then we know where we're going to place you. If you just want to continue to build the skills, we know where we can place you. And then the other problem that we were having is a lot of the students had no experience. So that's another reason we started the nonprofit, because for me, I just felt a certain type of way having to turn people away, and I didn't want to get into that. So I said, okay, well, let's help them. Let's help them figure out a way, and that's how we started the 8th grade on, to be able to help them. So now we can say, okay, we have an editor dedicated to you that'll take the time. We have a audio instructor dedicated to you that'll take the time, and so on and so forth, to teach you. And then I think what we'll do is 3 hours after school, each day, 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. And then that'll be able to help you, understand. We don't expect everyone to be a part of it, but those who are willing and passionate about it, we know we'll see them.
That is so nice.
And one of the things that strikes me is that, let's say, going through the program, and then they're looking at sports on TV, that connection is so direct right there.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that occurred to me also was that, like you said, journalism and broadcast journalism. So I was just thinking how it also builds up writing skills, how they can, I don't know the best way to put it, it broadens their scope in terms of, wow, all these other aspects that, the average person is just being entertained.
Right.
So they have, they're basically clueless. Because I work in this medium, it helps me when I see somebody on television, whether it's an anchor or whatever, I monitor a lot of things about them, body language, et cetera.
Right.
And then when you were saying something earlier about, I guess kind of them finding their way, one of the things that occurred to me is everybody's not comfortable being on the camera.
Absolutely.
Lord knows I'm still uncomfortable. Theo, just had to tell you that. But yeah, it's something you have to get used to, because especially when you look at yourself,
right?
Let's say a rebroadcast or something, you look at yourself, you say, well, wow, you look at different little things, maybe pick yourself apart. We were talking earlier about positivity and negativity, and we may look at the negative aspects. That's why I study other people. But I like the idea, again, that journalism, this is helping them, because just developing writing skills, which means you have to have some thinking skills, comprehension.
Absolutely.
Whatever direction you go in, whether it's even if it's not within that field, those talents are invaluable for life. So I look at what you're doing also does that. It says, okay, well, maybe I want to change directions, but now I've learned to write well, I can articulate well, and these things can go well because another thing you mentioned, I want you to get into that too, because I guess this ties into is the public relations thing. So give us an idea of what public relations is all about.
So the public relations side of it is you are the voice behind Tunnel Vision. and you're the one who has to go out, well, everything is so digital now, so you can do it via email, but you can go out and you can experience that interaction between whether it's the likes of a big name network or a smaller network, but it's going to be what you're saying and what you're sending is going to help them decide whether or not they want to mess with us. So with the public relations side, we always ask them to set up our media distributions, which is receiving all the information from whether it's a team or the league. And that's how we, are able to help you and guide you. This young woman that we had last year, when I interviewed her, I was so hesitant because she was so shy. She barely opened her mouth. She was so shy, and she interviewed for the public relations role. And I remember sitting down and I said, I don't know if we can take her on. We did a second interview with her, which we never do. And I asked her, I said, if we brought you on, I said, do you feel you would be comfortable in this role? I said, because you're going to be the main person that they're talking to. She said, if I don't have to speak to them constantly, but if I can email them, she said, I'll be the best person you ever had. She proved me right 10 times over. She got everything set up for us. And then in return, we were able to help her. She is now working at the University of California.
Wow.
Yes, so we were able, she called me and she said she's going to be leaving. And I said, okay. She lives in Oakland, California.
Oh.
And she said she had something that they needed to fill out. And they wanted to know from my experience with her. They were going to hire her based off what I sent them in. And immediately I signed it, gave her, all the praises that she deserved. And she called me like 2 days later and she said, I got it. Yeah. And that's where she's working now.
Was she here physically? Or?
No, she was never here physically. All of our positions is remote.
Oh, so they learn all of this on Zoom?
On Zoom, or you can talk to us via Zoom. That's how we've been able to spread it so widespread.
I see.
So for the Tunnel Vision Academy, with the nonprofit with 8th grade and up, that'll be both physical in our presence, and it'll be Zoom as well.
Because that's after school,
That's
right?
after school, yes.
So it's best to have personal contact with 8th graders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then anything that you need, obviously by the 8th grade, I'm pretty sure everyone has a phone. Yeah. So, anything that you need, you'll be able to, set up, and then we'll be able to guide you whether you're in person or if you're out of state.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. So if there was someone who was interested in broadcasting and we gave them an opportunity to come here with us and they could broadcast, what is it, about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something? Oh, I'm sorry. Their opportunity, do you teach them as a sample, say 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, well, we do the reel, and we have you record yourself, send it in. That's what we were doing remotely. But now, because we're going to be physical, we have the setup for the microphone, we have the soundboard, we have all that we're going to teach you how to conduct yourself in broadcasting. So you have two sides of it. Obviously, the person that's in front of the microphone or the person behind the scenes that's controlling the audio and the sound of it. And then we set you up. A lot of the times we've seen people who've come in, they don't have any footage of what they've done. That's one of the biggest factors of how we're going to help.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to record for you, and we're going to showcase what you do.
Oh, that's nice.
And another thing I want to touch on is we've built our own podcast network, Tunnel Vision Sports Network. And we have 12 podcasts on that network. Oh. And that can be heard across all streaming platforms. And everything that we do, that is not designed to have longevity. It's just designed to build your portfolio. So we create the shows for you. We give you a name. We give you a logo. We give you music. We give you a theme. And you record weekly. And once you do that, once you move on from that, if you do that for the 3 months, if you only want to do it for the 3 months, if you move on from that, now you have that in your portfolio.
Man, I love it.
Where do we sign up? That is so nice.
Thank you.
I know that and again, this is what technology has brought to us.
Right.
How when people would want to, just what you just described now, have everything set up so you can actually see yourself doing something. You can monitor, as I say, I monitor other people and I monitor myself, so I can, whatever behavioral corrections I need to make, physical, whatever, I can make those adjustments. And I like the idea that they can actually look at themselves. I took my granddaughter to a Science Museum in Toledo, and they had something set up similar. It's called Imagination Station, but it had all the different kind of scientific things, and they had something similar to what you're saying. They had it where there was a desk, a microphone, a television monitor, and you could speak about the weather or whatever it was you wanted to, and then replay that and see how you did it, because some people love being in front of the camera, very comfortable. As you said, the young lady, she was, personality-wise, and everybody's different. Being in front of the camera wasn't as comfortable as doing something off, not in the sight of the camera, because because there's that nervousness. I even look at some of the people on the major networks here, and I can see them. They're maybe doing this with their ink pen. There's a lot of things that you want to be able to. Because you're going into a professional arena. So it's very important. And even the professionals are still human, so they have it. So for a person to be able, as you say, see themselves, you set up the microphone, the camera, they got a script or whatever, and then they can review what they're doing and then say, is this for me or this isn't for me? But at least they've got something that they can review and then make an estimation of where they belong.
And that's the thing that we help them do, is once you get that reel, you go home and you study that. And then you realize maybe I said too much here, or like you said with the tapping and things of that nature. These are things that we help you with. These are things that we guide you with. So if you do make the decision to say, this is what I want to do, we take the reel that you started with, and then we build from there. So we keep creating reels for you. So then you go back each one that you've had and figure out, basically just like film in the sports world. You go back and you look over it, and that's how we've been able to help people. And it's been exciting because everything that we do is for the students. Everything that we do is to help. And again, for those who might not have went to college, might have just only did high school, but now they're in a medium between, what do I want to do next? This is something that we can also help you with. This is something that you feel you could be passionate about. And sometimes it takes people to be introduced to something to find their passion. And that's why we want to do this. That's just the main reason we're doing this.
If we just had more of these type of things, but we got you, brother, television sports.
Thank you.
And that matters because we do need we do need to provide alternatives to youth, and this is an excellent one because we can't say, even if we don't like, let's say, sports per se, we're still affected by, in a peripheral way, because, it's not like we can escape it. We're going to hear these prominent individuals, athletes, soccer, whatever the field may be. We're going to hear their names, and even if we don't know about it in depth, we know about it superficially, and even that's enough. And it is an industry that's never going away. I mean, sports industry is worth billions, if not more. So it's never going away. I mean, it's too profitable.
Absolutely.
And it's an outlet. It's an escape for people, and you have to have the people who are behind the scenes involved in it. One of the things that I noted in the beginning. And I don't do it anymore, but like you said, how somebody might say too much. Well, I noticed when Theo and I would be on, one of the things I used to do is when she was talking and she might be going 30 seconds or more, I would be there with my mouth open like I was getting ready to say something, but nothing came out. And I said, I can't be doing that no more. Just keep your mouth shut until you time to say something. But yeah, I had to check myself out too. And that's why I look at other people and monitor that. Now, we probably got about another 8 to 10 minutes. So we got a comfortable time range. But I don't like to wait till the last minute. I want you to give them website, email info, telephone info, and that.
Again, the website is tvsportsmag.com. And you can go on there. You can see the articles that have been published. And there's a careers tab. and you can click on the careers tab and see our 5 listings of jobs that we have for you to apply to. Again, that's tvsportsmag.com. And then you can call our number, 734-743-2893. Again, that's 734-743-2893. You can leave a voicemail, get in contact with us. And then you have our email, which is our HR department, which is hr@tvsportsstaff.com. Again, that's hr@tvsportsstaff.com. And everything that we have is set up to just guide you, is to help you. And it should be looked at as a stepping stone, but it should also be taken serious. And that's how we want to help. And again, I can't stress enough, that's why we went back with Tunnel Vision Academy, the nonprofit organization side of it, to start with 8th grade and beyond. Because that's when you start to sit there and say, oh, I want to do this for my career. I want to do that. So,
one of the things you said is a stepping stone, and off the air, I just want to let everyone know we had a conversation as would be expected, and you used one word that I felt was very significant, which was accountability. One thing about being involved in something like this is the idea that you have to become accountable and responsible for something.
Right,
it's not
right.
something you can just take for granted. And I'm in my history class, and as long as I can figure out George Washington did this and so did that.
Right.
Very casual approach to it, where this is something that's very serious, and it's something that if you're interested in it, you have to be as serious as what it is that you claim you want to do, and that's where the word accountability comes in. So I like when you said that it's a stepping stone, because it also makes you responsible. You got assignments, you got certain things that you got to do to prove yourself in order to be able to move on further in that career, as opposed to like you said, somebody who just want to dabble in it, because it's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of their time too. They're not going to get anything out of it because their heart's not in it.
Right, and that's the thing. And I want to give credit to my mentor, who just so happened to be my great uncle. And when I started this company, I talked with him, and I said, this is what I want to do. He had successful businesses in the past, and he told me, he said, well, you can't hire anybody, you can't do nothing unless you do it first. And I looked at him and I was like, oh, okay. So I had to be the journalist. I had to be the PR. I had to be the social media manager. I had to be the audio engineer. I was out interviewing people. I was doing all of this.
Oh, wow.
And I did it for a few months. And then the stories just kind of kept building as far as in the sports world. So I called him. And I said, it's getting kind of, I said, I can't keep writing all these. I said, I'm only one person. It was our associate director, Keenan Atchison, helping me. And it was getting to the point, just us two, we were writing articles and then just creating names from within our family to put on it so it wouldn't just show me and him.
Right.
And he said, okay, well, he said, go ahead and hire. So we hired. He said, now you're ready. He said, now you know what it takes. He said, now you can help and guide people. So that's when we hired our very first intern we hired 2 years ago, is who I mentioned earlier, who's now the high school editor for USA Today.
Oh, that's nice.
And that is how we've been able to, everything that we do, I can have a conversation with you and I can tell you, hey, I've done this. We know where you are. I understand the nervousness of it. I understand the excitement that you want, but you also have to, whether it's your favorite player or whoever, you have to be non-biased. You have to be understanding. And there's no, I always ask people when we interview them, who are you a fan of? Because there's a possibility we might get that person on a media, like a Zoom media call, and I don't need anybody fanning out and not knowing how to, carry themselves. Right. So we always give them exercises to help them and, to guide them. So that way when they do get on that media call, because you're an actual media member at this point, you're not just some fan that people are not going to, take serious, because you're a representation of us. And that's how, with people being from the 8th grade, we'll be able, like I said, 8th grade and beyond, we're going to have some athletes and things of that nature speak to them so they can understand that and they can get that feel. So by the time you graduate high school, if you decide to stick with our program, that transition will be seamless for you because you'll be comfortable, you'll be ready, and you'll be willing to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Do you have someone who, say, films, I don't know, say part of a game or something, and then you critique the?
We had that in the beginning. We're going to get back to photography and videography because that is a very high niche in this community.
Right.
A lot of people, your phone, the people have won awards, Oscars off their iPhones, and we're teaching people on the journalist side to be a mobile journalist. Mm-hmm. So whether you are at a game, you can actually take and record, take a picture yourself. Okay. And now you get credit for that in the article versus us having to cite the source, whether it was whoever it was. Yeah. Now you get that credit, so now you add another avenue to your.
Oh, nice. Wow, this has been an exciting day, an exciting morning actually. And did you want to give a contact number? Once again, because we're down.
Absolutely. It's 734-743-2893. Again, that's 734-743-2893. And that is the number to get in contact with Tunnel Vision Sports and Tunnel Vision Academy.
All right. And this has been Stephen Hayes with us today. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And know this, it's not necessary for you to know everything.
No.
What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. And we at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share with you and even invite you to share with us. As you know, we have a conference call each Saturday from 3 p.m. until 6. So just Google us. And if you got a pen and paper handy, as the video always says, the number for Saturday is 3, every Saturday, is 1-978-990-5000. The access code is 338-729. Press the pound key and join us for more exciting information like we've had this morning. That number again is 1-978-990-5000, and the access code is 338-729. Press the pound key, and you'll be on with us any Saturday that we fit into your schedule. So thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and we look forward to you tuning in next Monday, 9 a.m. The BD?
Yes, as I always say at the end of every program. First, I just want to re-quote your uncle,
yes.
I believe it was. It says, you can't, I'll paraphrase, you can't teach anybody unless you know how to do it first yourself. I think that's excellent advice. And as I always close the show, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished.
All right. So tune in again next week, and peace.
Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am the BD Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Feedback.